So he corrected your mic,
Yes,
Barbara.
I did. Yes. I don't know how, but I did.
So we in the last two or three sessions we understood why we fail even we claim we understood. We claim that we have understood, and why there is a suffering, the master asked. And then we discussed then how to succeed. Why a little knowledge is dangerous, extremely dangerous. No, I'm the real self. No, I'm in stress and I'm the real self. I lose awareness. So when I lose that sense of awareness, then I start asking very tricky intellectual questions, but I continue to suffer. Last time, if knowledge, now the master gives a tricky answer. Oh, no, no, I have been doing the practice for the last 10 years. I have been studying the text. I have been learning. I have been bowing down to the teacher, but nothing happened. So the one master answered clearly. You have studied, you have been doing the practice, but answer me whether the knowledge has entered into you. You have entered into the knowledge, whether the knowledge has entered into you or not. So, what is preventing that the knowledge is not entering into you? Did you understand? Yeah, I've been studying, I've been doing the practice for 10 years. I have approached all the teachers and still I fail. No, you are responsible. The knowledge has not entered into you. And what is preventing the mind? Why the mind is preventing? Because we are not a level of a seeker where the knowledge should have entered into me. Sometimes people blame me or, no, I have learned everything from you and I have been doing the practice and there is no result. You are responsible for the result. To simplify what I was talking to Sam, so I will repeat it. I'm not going to judge. One lady somewhere, sometime, couple of months before, oh, do you think that I'm not a seeker? Why should I think that you are a seeker or not seeker? It is you who has to. It is you who has to think and finalize. Are you man or woman? You have to know. So how to know that you are the highest level of a seeker? It just came to my mind. So I talked to Sam. So first thing, understand that to become a qualified seeker, we have four skill sets, four attitude, four skill sets, four traits, or you can say four practices, whatever you want to say. First is discernment. Discernment, when you practice discernment, it raises your intellectual power. Second is dispassion. Third is six treasures. And the fourth is you have an intense desire for freedom to bring an end to the suffering. You have the four. If you have all the four, why should I add if? Say I have 100% all the four. So if you have all the four, that is 100%, you are the highest level of a seeker. Even if the teacher is crazy, it will help you to reach to the ultimate goal. If you have only three, You are a high seeker. Why should I add if? No, no, I should add if in the rest. If you have only two, you are a mediocre seeker. You have only one, you are the lowest level of a seeker. Thanks God you are a seeker. That is more important. So, what is that? You have only discernment. Intellect works, intellect claims that you have understood, but there is no dispassion. So, you prevent the knowledge to move into the mind. So, what happens? Third level, the six treasures, that state of the rest and the calm, that the joy and the peace do not manifest in day to day life. That is the third one. And why the fourth one? That I don't have an intense desire for the freedom. Are you getting it? Say yes. All the four, highest seeker, only three, the high level of a seeker, only two, mediocre seeker, only one, lowest seeker. We don't know when we reach to the higher state of meditation. We don't know. But if you have four, you know. Today I was at that point. I had a glimpse, I experienced, and that experience will raise the bar of your confidence. Not only the confidence, you will remember all those principles naturally. Are you getting it what I'm explaining? That is, it just came to my mind yesterday, so I explained it. So now, what happens? We have to understand that if, but it does not mean that if we have only the first skill set of discernment, at least we are a seeker. We should continue the journey. It is not that you don't get admission in Ivory League. Everyone is capable. No, when you go to Ivory League colleges, you have to have a certain percentage, and they ask you crazy questions, and your answer is also crazy. Then you belong to that Ivory League. But everyone is a seeker, wherever, whenever they start the journey. Good. So, what happens when we do not have those four skill sets that are 100%? If they do not, that is now how to recognize that I have certain fear, certain sense of anxiety, and the duality and a conflict that I'm not able to recognize, I'm not able to become aware because that level of awareness inside is not there. Why? Because all those four skills are not there. So I should talk what Sam asked me in the next question, that when you were evolving, then what happened? I don't know, he's very soft, so he said, but he meant that, did you commit any mistake? I told him I committed 1 million mistakes. Why shouldn't I agree? Can I tell you? I'm talking about one principle of discernment. And your mind says, no, I know discernment. Go ahead. Your mind has said you have committed one mistake. Let me learn it again. Is there another way to learn it? Did you understand? Very subtle point. I'm leaving that point. So four skill sets. I will talk in detail about these four skill sets and how we should have that 100%. And skill, it is the causal body that commits the mistake. Do you remember? I'm not going there. I return. I will focus on the topic. So, what happens when these four skills are not there? Anything, you see that the discernment is not 100%, so the dispassion will be defective. Dispassion will be defective. So, when the dispassion is defective, then the not self takes over you. When the not self takes over you, you miss relaxation and calmness at that moment. When you miss that relaxation and calmness, you are in the state of anxiety and duality and a conflict. Your mind says you are worthy of suffering, and then you forget that you have an intense desire for freedom. That is why I discussed that why we fail even after understanding. And then I have gone through how to succeed in the last 2 or 3 sessions. That's good. You're not worthy of having COVID, but you have it, so no problem, Stephen. Continue. So, when we do not have those four skill sets, I'm first going into the positive and then I will go into how the master explains how to get rid of that negativity. So, first thing last week I discussed that I feel a sense of limitation because I identify myself with the sense organ, with the body, with the mind, with the intellect, with the ego, with unnecessary thoughts, with comparison, with confusion. Oh, they are a part of ignorance. So we have already understood why limitations causes problems in the mind. So what happens if we understand clearly? Again, you see, discernment and dispassion are to be applied. What I said, if I understand clearly that what is not self, when the discernment is applied, it results into dispassion. Dispassion in the intellect makes me aware I'm not this self. I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this. Finished. We stop being worthy of suffering. And it is a knowledge practice. Knowledge practice means the moment you wake up in the morning until you sleep. And if that happens even for a week, you will have a glimpse of awakening. Oh, I'm already into a different world of pure consciousness. I'm into a different world of that pure consciousness, in spite or even when the outer situations and conditions are not favorable. You have a glimpse because that not self caused by the delusion in the mind is absent. I'm okay. I think are you all okay because you have been attending these sessions so you understand what I'm talking. Say yes, you are understanding. So not self. So the master gives us a clear idea that we should understand what is unreal or false. So we have already understood false means what appears true is not true. Water in the mirage, blueness of the sky, the ghost in the dark night. The ghost always appears in the darkness. They don't appear in the light. Look at it. See that? We don't analyze this and we get carried away, and then the ghost lives 24 hours with us. So now, can you apply the same examples and the metaphor with reference to your life? What I said, water in the mirrors, blueness in the sky, ghost in the darkness. Let us use the same metaphor. How many times I feel and claim that we are the body, we are the mind, we are the sense organs, we are the feelings, we are the ego, we are the thought. How many times during the day? But they are all made up of 24 elements. And these elements are matter. And that is the part of the not self. I remember again what I talked to Sam. See that I see you. You are outside. Who sees you? My eyes. Clear? My eyes are instrument. And who is the knower? That is inside. Do you see that? Do you see it here and now? I'm aware of the knower inside. Knower, then the eyes is an instrument for knowledge, and then you are outside. You cannot be outside. You cannot be the instruments. This is the power of discernment. So, what happens when you live in intensive awareness that you are an object? Here is an instrument, and I am the subject. You have an instant dispassion, and you have a calmness. Are you getting it? Three things. There were three things: object outside, instrument to see that object, to get the knowledge, and I am. I am is always inside. I am is always inside that knower. Instruments, there we have five instruments. So now the next level of discernment, that these five sense organs are matter. Why they are matter? Remove the space. Can you hear me? Unless unless my ears have the similar properties as that of the space or the sound, then only I can have it. So all belongs to the instruments. They are the matter. All the time it is matter. So our master says we have five physical elements. We have five energy, means five prana. We have five sense organs. We have five motor organs. It becomes 20. Then we have mind and the memory. We have the intellect and ego. They are also matter. All the 24 elements causes the delusion. So when all 24 elements causes the delusion, what is that delusion? Water in mirrors. I am the body. I am the mind. I am the thought. I am stressed. I'm unhappy. Really? Are you unhappy? Because of the delusion. So all the 24 elements causes that delusion. That delusion is called Maya. Have you heard about it, Maya? Maya, Prakriti, or simply delusion. Clear? Yes, clear. Never say that you are not clear. Every time when I say, are you clear? Yes, yes, I'm clear. So now another thing that is extremely important to remember, if there is no desert, which is a reality in Arizona, you don't see the water, you don't see the you don't see the mirage, so you don't see the water. What I'm saying, are you getting it? I'm answering how the blueness is created in the sky when the blueness is false, how the water is seen in the mirage. So we are trying to answer the question, what is this Maya? You know clearly the Maya, you are aware of it, you need not to worry about it. You are already in calmness and peace. But why? How? Where? When? This is what we are trying to understand. Can I say in the mirage, the water is superimposed in a mirage? The blueness is superimposed on the sky. The husband is superimposed on a man. Now I'm coming personal. Wife is superimposed on a woman that you love and hate. I don't know how many people love their neighbors, but you know what Jesus said. So here, so eh, now say pay attention. Is water present in the mirage? No. Is husband present in a man? No. Is wife present in a woman? No. If yes, show me. If I ask Sam, is sun present in you? Show me. Still they are seen, they are perceived. Is fiancé seen in you, anesthesia? I used to, I've been repeating that example that when you are driving a car on the highway, eyes, if the seeing is believing, you see the highways are running behind you. Don't you see that? The scenes and the trees are running behind you, but it is not true. That is the perfect example of a delusion. Now comes the most important thing. I always say that what is most important in every session. Yes, everything is important. So understand this is a fact and the truth. What the master says, where there is a delusion, there is a real self behind it. It is veiled. I'm repeating again. Where there is a delusion, there is a real self. Wherever I see the water in the mirage, there is definitely a desert. Where there is a blueness of the sky is already veiled. Where there is a husband, there is a man behind it. I don't know how many are good husbands, but the good or bad husband do not exist. Are you getting it? I'm repeating again and then I will move ahead. Where there is a delusion, delusion is a superimposition. That superimposition cannot exist without the reality. There has to be a reality on which there is a superimposition of blueness, of husband, of wife, of water, of highways running behind me. Just see here and now. There is a superimposition. by your mind on me that I am a teacher, and my mind on you that you are a seeker. Here and now, I can give you 1 million examples. It is a projection, so the blueness of the sky will continue to be seen after, continues to be seen. So, what should I do? Do I remove the blueness? Can I remove the water in the mirage? Yes, I can remove it. Can I remove the husband from a man, wife from the women? Yes, here, not physically, in the field of awareness by knowledge. So if I remove that knowledge, I approach to, I come near to the real self. Delusion is removed from the mind in us. We don't have any rule to remove the mirage outside in a desert. We need not to fly in the sky to remove the blueness. The delusion is in the mind. I have to remove that delusion which is causing the suffering, which is preventing me to find the real self. It's all a matter of awareness. See that. So when we start living into that awareness of 24 elements causing the delusion, and all the 24 elements together is known as the Maya, or you can say illusion outside and the delusion inside my mind. I recognize that existence, that something within me is not a part, product, or property of the body. It is independent principle which pervades and enlivens the body. That existence is the real self. Is not limited by the boundaries of the body. You see the boundaries. I feel the sense of limitation because somewhere deep inside there is a sense of delusion that I am the body. Existence is not limited by the boundaries of the body. Existence survives even after the fall of the body. Surviving pure existence is where we find the real self. So, what it means? That the real self is present in presence of the Maya or illusion. Illusion is seen, but through my eyes, through my mind. But the real self is seen by the real self. Don't worry about those concepts. We will open it due to superimposition by the mind, caused by the ignorance. We continue to live in this illusion and then we fail in meditation to reach to the highest state of meditation means awakening. It is here and now. We have a very subtle illusion at this moment. What is that? That you are a seeker and I'm a teacher. That is also you. We all are essentially one. You see that sense of illusion is So keep that Maya which benefits you. Remove that Maya that causes the problem. Until we reach to the highest. And once we reach to the highest, we have no problem. Who created husband? Mind. Who created wife? Mind. And who created you and me at the physical, mental, and emotional level are different existence. Keep that duality. Keep that illusion. Because then I have to work. Huh? In the empirical in the material world. But internally, what my mind has created, I should drop it. Are you getting it? And that demands an extraordinary awareness. And that extraordinary awareness comes from the four skill sets. Told you. Highest level of a seeker. Even if you claim highest level of a seeker, you will commit mistakes. But committing mistakes means I recognize now those subtle areas of my mind. I enter into the subconscious, unconscious domain of the mind. You are trying to remove and dissolve those areas of the mind. That is the journey of the self discovery. We will talk about it. There are two powers of the illusion. Now we have two powers. We are trying to understand what is not self. One is the wailing power, and other is the projecting power. So what happens by the wailing power? By which the truth is kept hidden. Blueness of the sky, wailing power. Projecting power, by which the world is projected rather than created. This entire world is simply a projection of the real self. Two powers. Close your eyes, being comfortable. We have understood. Eyes are closed, the body is adjust and align the way you want to put the body. You see that I never talk about you do the asanas and the pranayama and other stuff. No, it's not required at this stage of being a seeker. So eyes are closed, find out the most comfortable position of the body and and look at the neck joint. I will use the very uh, primary stage of the practice, and then you go deeper. So I said, look at the neck joint, be there, aware and feel sensation, comfort, and steadiness. But if you are a seek, no, I'm sorry, I should not use if. You all are seekers. So when we are a seeker, the moment I say move the mind on the entire body, being there, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. When I say it, you are already settled in sensation, comfort, and steadiness. If you are not, you have to go back to those previous episodes of this journey. Now, be carefree. So again, it is a non-practice. It is all about knowledge. The birds are flying in the sky. Okay, are you aware of the sky? So focus on the sky and keep watching the birds flying. That is what is being carefree. So in the mental space, we have many thoughts that are coming and going, good and bad thoughts. They continue to stay in the mind, they leave it. Whatever is happening, it is all the thoughts, images, and feelings. Are you aware of the mental space? You are carefree. See that? So that explanation is for the higher seeker. So you will discover that on few days, your mind, following these two steps of being comfortable and being carefree, it absorbs. A couple of you have shared your experiences the moment I close my eyes. You see, that's how I also get knowledge from you. When you share your experiences, I know where you stand. So now you understand the traditional approach. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Let everyone be happy. So here we follow the three stage approach. We say it in our minds. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. We say in our mind, then we go to the meaning. Let everyone be in the state of happiness. Then we go to the knowledge. Why we are saying this? Behind all the projections and the wailing power of the Maya, there is only happiness. Now, see, I am giving you another meaning. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve santu niramaya. And the meaning? Let there be a state of well-being for all. So there are two-pointed knowledge. One, that there is a common factor. We all are seekers of well-being, happiness, peace, etc., etc. So that is a common point among all the living beings, including the mosquito and the ant or the elephant. Even they do not have a conscious intellect to separate. It is a fact. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Who doesn't want the grace and the blessing of the existence because of which we are alive, we are learning and listening, we continue to follow our daily chores in our life. We exist. So that existence is constantly have a grace and blessing on us. That is also a common point. Whether we know it, we don't know it. Ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhave. You see the masses here, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhave. Let none suffer from misery in the world. So when we say compassion, we always have compassion for others. But when the mind moves with a compassion that there should be no one should suffer in the world, my mind changes. My mind drops the delusion. That is why we have this Shanti mantra. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You all have the four skill sets 100%. The mind will not miss any step. It will maintain its level of intense awareness. I'm just giving you. Otherwise, we make a mistake. And that's what I said. Yes, I made 1 million mistakes. Let us see, look inside the cave of the heart in the darkness. I will also define that darkness that you see later. That's the beauty of the journey of Eastern wisdom. We explain everything. So keep looking inside the cave of your heart in the darkness. The body is in the state of comfort and steadiness. The mind is carefree, and that carefree mind is looking inside the cave of the heart. There you start dropping Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om, reflecting real self or the inner infinite space, and Shanti is the peace. And now start breathing quick and short breath from both the nostrils into the chest. Short, quick breath, Om Shanti, body. Now you again are going deeper behind those five sheets. Continue. You have no objection coming from the mind. Those objections are the mistakes. So your mind is not committing any mistake. Your mind does not realize, let me change the position of the body. Yes, you have 1 million. Those subtle areas of the mind, you become more and more aware, and ultimately that helps you to live within and move within. Continue. Only the rib cage expansion and contraction. The rest of the body, you experience a sense of comfort and steadiness. Continue, quick, short breath, Om Shanti, body is steady, the mind is carefree. That's why it is going deeper inside the cave, the heart, in the space. Continue, you all are doing good, my friends. And stop it. Did you realize the mind changes the breath rate and the rhythm? That is another mistake. You live into that awareness. The mind projected that I cannot do like this, so you slow down or you do it faster, or you react to it. So those are subtle reactions, responses coming from the mind in delusion. Just experience the sensation, relaxation, and stillness outside. Look inside Experience the calmness and quietness. Let us do the nyasa inside the spine only. Start breathing deep, silent, slow. So when I say silent, you check that it is totally silent. If it is not silent, another mistake committed by the mind because it loses that awareness. Deep, but it doesn't mean that you start breathing so deep that the mind feels the unease and discomfort. No, not at all. Check the rate and the rhythm of the breath. It should be silent, it should be slow, it should be deep. Now, changing the direction of the mind as you inhale, move the mind from the crown of the head deep inside the spine, reaching to the tailbone. Do it step by step. No, not in a hurry. And as you exhale, move the mind in the spine. We are using a metaphor to drop that delusion. But the metaphor in an active phase. So as you exhale, the mind moves from the crown, from the tailbone. A mind rises, going into the spine, reaching to the crown of the head. So you see, mind number one is aware of listening to me. Mind number two, you're sitting at home, you're aware. Mind number three, you are in the state of sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Mind number four, deep silence, slow breathing. Mind number five, moving the mind with the breath in the spine. Mind number six, you're dropping Om Shanti. And the mind is aware so much so that it syncs with the Om Shanti, mind moving with the breath. That syncing drops the projection. So once you are now 100% clear, and still the mind causes the problem. So we continue the journey. That is what. Can we say the mind number one, two, three, four, five, six, seven? And then the time comes, the mind becomes so subtle deeper inside, the mind merges into the real self or pure consciousness. You are there. So it can one can reach even by the nyasa. Each and every step has its own importance, my friends. Shanti. If we sustain this step only in the spine, we were doing into the limbs, and we were doing into the limbs to raise our level of awareness, to prevent the mind going out. But now we have already understood what it means by mind living within. We don't need those. Maybe one of you or two of you may need it, so can modify it because you are a seeker. So seeker must modify it, but with understanding. I already told you who is the highest level of a seeker. Now leave the deep silence, slow breath, but continue dropping Om Shanti from the crown of the head to the tailbone and from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Now the breath is normal. You are not employing any active step because active step uh, keeps one delusion in the mind because it has to be done by the body and the breath. So the mind is working on the mind itself. See that if the mind has a clear perception of the spine from the crown of the head to the tailbone, from the tailbone to the crown of the head, breath is normal. Om Shanti is absorbing the mind. It's wonderful. Beautiful. And leave this. And the last step that we have been doing, move the mind in the cave of the heart while singing Om mentally, as if the Om is going so deep and deep and deep, and the mind seemingly stops. Drop the Shanti there and stay there in that state, motionless state. Pierce. The moment any thought, any mistake committed by the mind, because mind experiences something outside. So restart again, moving the mind in the cave of your heart. Otherwise, one Om Shanti is enough. And doing nothing. Remain as you are. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside, know your experiences. Bring the hands down. How are you, David and Jerry?
Sir, thank you for a great meditation. It was um, at the beginning when we were doing the fast breathing and the Om Shanti and focusing on the heart. It was kind of felt like I was juggling three balls, and I dropped a couple for a bit, but then soon I got into this rhythm, and I stayed in that rhythm and that mode for the rest of the meditation. But I noticed my body temperature dropped tremendously, which is unusual for me. So it
Yeah.
was great. Thank you.
Beautiful. That is really good. And we need not to worry about when in these practices sometimes the temperature rises or drops. You had many experiences of that. So the mind does not react to it. How are you, Jerry?
Sure, I'm good, thank you. The takeaway for me on the lesson, I really enjoyed. I think that when we look at ourselves as either a non-seeker or a seeker, there's this conflict for some where the ego pops in and goes, oh, well, if I have a mistake, then I'm a non-seeker, and then we get upset about that, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of is the case. I think sometimes if we continue to be suffering and making the same mistakes and not reflecting, but if we are reflecting and we see it, then we are seekers, and we want to evolve and we want to improve, and we want to know our true nature and live from that place, right? So I like that. The mind just kept saying to myself, I know I'm a seeker, but what level of a seeker doesn't really matter.
Beautiful. I will summarize your experiences. Again, there is someone I don't want to name. So that person texted me that I heard your last session and I feel elated. I'm totally absorbed into that state. Now I have realized. I said, just by one session? So that person texted me, oh, you are funny. Now I went through the 2 sessions. So I did not dare to say to that person that only 2 sessions are the person will be offended. So you look at it, because we teachers have a very delicate role to play. And after that, after a couple of hours, that person texted me, now I feel always calm and peace. So what you are saying, that is I stopped only at the first level of discernment. So inner ego is still working. Now I'm telling you that I attended 2 sessions and I'm in peace. What's the fun? Why you are opposing me? No, I'm not opposing you. So I did not respond. So what is the takeaway when Jerry said that I have to constantly contemplate and reflect? I have to reflect it again and again to reach to that point where all the conflict drops and I'm into that state. How are you, Stephen? Oh, sorry. It's okay. You are Sam. How are you, Sam?
I'm good. Yeah, I agree with what Jerry is saying for sure. I think it's for me it's a constant check-in process in either direction because
Yeah.
And I use the meditation as it reflects what's going on with me that day. So I've said this before, when I've had heavier meditations, it's when I'm feeling sluggish and dealing with a lot of past impressions and all of that. And when I don't, I was able to drop it. But I also have to check in the opposite direction because I get a little excited when I have a good meditation and it makes me want to just, I guess we call it pleasure seeking, but you've got to check in both directions.
You are perfectly right, Sam. You understand this. One day we have a good meditation and we are elated, our ego says, oh, this is it. So now that meditative state becomes a pleasure seeking. I told you all the 4 levels have to be perfect. And it comes by practice, continuing the journey. Rightly said. How are you, Barbara?
I'm very good, thank you. It's interesting. Last time I did the meditation, I felt very light,
Yeah,
almost like I was floating. This time I felt very weighted down, like I had sunken into the chair and I couldn't move.
yeah, yeah. So,
But
yeah, go ahead.
no, but I now I feel very calm and very peaceful.
Very calm, peaceful, yeah. So you see that for all of us, you see that all these experiences were examined by all those 3,000 teachers. Based on that, they have written the text. So we already have that knowledge with us. So whether we feel a sense of heaviness, but the mind remains calm, it is okay. That is beautiful. Terry, where are you?
I'm right here.
Oh, you're here? Okay.
My meditation was about my relationship to my discomfort. And
Yes.
I hover between my real self and my mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good realization.
Okay, that was my experience today.
But you're calm, relaxed.
I forgive myself for the mistakes,
Yeah.
but try to use them to learn.
You see the beauty that if you tell anyone outside, oh, the person who is having such a severe illness is doing meditation, they won't believe. It is seeing and doing is believing. So again, I'm referring that all the four steps are required to become a seeker, and then we follow these practices, it brings the result. How are you, Webho?
So I'm good. It was like that seeing that how whatever the experiences are coming, how I am different from them, and then whatever is happening, I can still do the right thing. So it was calm, peaceful.
Calm, peaceful, beautiful. How are you, Rakesh?
Thank you, sir. So today, during the entire practice of this uh, active practice, all the practices were going on the outer level. Inner level, there was the stillness and the calmness all
Calm.
the time.
Good.
And even during the practice, there was a pain in the teeth and there was pain in the chest on the right hand side. But those were also outside. Inside, the calmness and the stillness was maintained throughout.
Good. So the beauty is that there is a kind of a separation. What I was explaining, the object outside in the instrument and I am. So once that separation happens, it goes deeper. Are you shook?
Sir, namaste.
Namaste.
Uh, I am peace, calm, and quiet.
Quiet, yes. You see, when the mind says, I am peace, quiet, and calm, it makes a big difference in our life. But it should come after an experience. Beautiful. How are you, Anastasia?
Thank you. I am good. I had a feeling like being in a cave very deep. And I had also a feeling like someone touches my skin with a warm towel. It
Yeah.
felt something like that. And but I was very deep and peaceful and calm.
Beautiful. We have to live into that state all the time. So we have two more people. How are you, Samir?
Sir, now when meditation starts, my mind is totally interested in dropping the thoughts. Means it is ready, it is very eager to go inside. Means it loves to go inside. Means okay, now I'm doing meditation and relaxing.
Yeah.
And nothing disturbs me a lot. Nothing disturbs me during whole session.
Good, good. That's a good point that my mind is willing. Yes, Stephen many a times explained the moment I close my eyes, my mind goes with it. So that's a beautiful way to express an experience. So how are you, Sangeeta?
सर बहुत अच्छा था, बहुत पीसफुल था। और सर आज हेडलेसनेस लग रहा था, तो सिर में ही है जैसे।
Yes. Many people, sometime in the beginning or at the later stage, have a feeling that you don't have a head. So people, that's what she had. So many, that is a symbolic expression that ego, which is causing the problem and the delusion, is no more. So that's a beautiful way. That is beautiful. That is all for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you,
Namaste.
everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Peace.
Thank
Namaste.
you.